But you know, just like I always say, plant is plantation. They just shorten that shit to make us feel better. You know, and I feel like a fucking slave because I know I am that. But I understand too that, you know, it's a lot of opportunity and entrepreneurship. But what people have to fail to realize, and black people most definitely fail to realize, is you're not going to get less bosses when you're an entrepreneur. You're going to get more bosses. And if you do it right, the ultimate boss is going to be your customer. You know, but it's just so much dichotomy to the black community where I feel like buffoonery is taking over. Buffoonery is taking over the black community. We're getting dumber by the fucking minute. That's how I feel about the black community. We're too much on athletic and sports and not enough on education. We want to be entertained more than informed. Right. And I think that the nucleus of it is black people sitting down and getting off their phones and having conversations just like this. Because we're losing the human element. We're being desensitized. We're being desensitized through pornography. We're being desensitized. And when I say pornography, I'm not just talking about a sexual act. I'm talking about visual pornography as far as, like, you seeing all these people getting killed and shit. You see people getting their ass whooped. Like, back in the day, okay, me and Sosa get to fight. If Sosa knocked me out and started kicking me in my face and I'm unconscious, people come and grab me. All right, man, that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough. But
now these motherfuckers want to film it.
Leave him alone. Let him fight.
Y'all want to see this. Hold on.
World star, man. World star.
Yes.
You killed that.
Somebody holding the camera telling myself, call the police. You couldn't be calling them with
They're glorifying ignorance.
Ain't no snitch.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. But they straight snitching with the camera.
Ain't no snitch.
To build on top of your point, what ended up happening with us is that we were culturally disenfranchised, meaning when they brought us over here, you know, we couldn't speak our own language. We had to change our names. We lost our culture. You know what I'm saying? Simple thing is, you know, just having your own language or a different language in America to speak to your partner, you know what I'm saying? You have more of a sense of pride. And then the civil rights movement, God bless Martin Luther King, he did help us in ways, but the civil rights movement, it de-economicalized our communities. When we had our own shops, because we couldn't shop at Woolworths or the Krogers and this, that, and other, because we weren't allowed in those stores. We had to shop in the mom and pop store, so we would support, and there was more pride and there was better store ownership back then. We had customer service, you know what I'm saying? But when the civil rights came and you saw that you can go to Woolworths and you can get this coat, you know, $5, $10 cheaper, you know what I'm saying? Or different items 25% cheaper. It's almost like Walmart coming into a place, you know what I'm saying, where it got other mom and pop shops and running them out of business. So we started losing our own stores in our community. And then in the 70s, with the war and those vets coming back, what started was substance abuse, whether it be alcohol, heroin, you know what I'm saying, even marijuana. I can't say marijuana because everybody smoked that, and nobody ever died from marijuana unless they fell asleep at the wheel. You know what I'm saying? No, real talk. You know what I'm saying? You can't OD on no damn weed. That's the only thing that kill you. And you know what I'm saying? So those two, economically, we culturally disenfranchised. Economically, we're not supporting our own businesses. Where those same businesses are putting money back into our community versus the gas station Habib at the Quickie Mart, you know what I'm saying, the Buddy Mart, he's taking all that money out of our community and he's sending it back home. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the substance abuse, you know what I'm saying, these owners and different people, man, I once heard a crackhead say, you know what I'm saying, he was sitting there, man, his name was CC, man. He said CC stood for cocaine. I'll never forget. And he was looking sad one day and I said, man, CC, what's wrong with you? You know, CC says, crack is stronger than love. That motherfucker said that shit. We bust out laughing. But to have something, a substance, whether it be alcohol, heroin, to say, okay, this is my child, I love them, but I'm going to get high so bad that I'm gonna send my child in the house by itself, or I'm going to rob my mother. I'm going to rob my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I have drug addicts in my family. Luckily, some have passed on, others got their stuff together. But that drug was so the thing that they love most and hold dear, they were able to just get rid of it. And then, you know what I'm saying, they start putting gun stores in our neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So then we have the ability to shoot the next nigga, you know what I'm saying, whether it be justified or not. And then because our economic stance is there, and then the drugs are coming in, which created another market to where we can sell to each other. The drugs are being sold back and forth, just like it was with the bootleggers and alcohol. Then a new set of crime begins, where these brothers and sisters are killing each other, you know, over dollar, because you can, you know what I'm saying, this money is so damn powerful that, you know what I'm saying, okay, I can't own a store, but I can own this dope business, because it's a business too, but the stakes is different. You know what I'm saying? That store owner can go home and sleep at night. That dope dealer, he really can't sleep at night because everybody's after him, because it's illegal and because it's such a high profit margin. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, other things. So that's, you know what I'm saying, basically on those different levels, that really just started the decline. And then the last one, but the major one that you spoke on, is the media. The media in the 70s, we were allowed to see as pimps, players, and hustlers, drug addicts on TV, at Coons or whatever, but you didn't see shit like The Cosby Show, you know what I'm saying, or A Different World, or these other programs where we're seeing it in a positive light. It was more better to see us in a negative light, you know what I'm saying, pimps and shit. That shit was part of our culture. Like, they was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to pimp this bitch. Instead of saying, okay, this is the mother of my child, or this is a black woman, a sister of mine, you know, let me treat her like shit because it says it's okay to do it on TV.
The main word coming out is glorification in my mind.
Yeah.
We glorify the shit. So no matter what, okay, I think that most of the people in this room, we grew up in a small pocket to where we grew up in the 80s with the Cosby Show. And then in the 90s when rap music, you know, even in the late 80s you had the rap music, headed for self-destruction. Like it was informative, you know, with Furious 5, Funkmaster Flex, Don't Push Me. So all this shit was messaging.
X-Clan, yeah, I'm about to say that.
All these different people. And then you had a wide array of different things. And then in the 90s, a lot of rap music was promoting to go to HBCU. You know,
exactly.
So now we got these people that's, you know, 20 years removed from us, and it's, you know, Molly Percocet. But with us, we like I keep going back.
That's the craziest shit to me. Do some drugs. Do some drugs.
The main thing, and he said he don't even do drugs like that. The main thing.
Oh, but I'm gonna tell my kids to do it.
The main thing that fucks with me is that we would rather be entertained than informed. Like, I can sit here and watch this TV, right? And I can be entertained all day, but if I had some information that was critical in my life, that's what I'll be wanting to watch. You know, like, I get entertained maybe about, I say a third of the time. Because it actually had to be to a point where I said, I'm getting too much information in. I need to be entertained. I had to calm that side down. But I think most people need to get on the other round and put the entertainment shit a fucking way. And, you know, like Real Housewives for women and sports for men. When the only thing your TV is on is ESPN, to me that shit is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at the nucleus of it, it's grown men playing a fucking game. And I think that black people, the number one thing in our community that we have a problem with is self-responsibility. You know, just like you were saying with the gun stores and the drugs, all that is good. But in a lot of communities, that shit still wouldn't get no play. Okay, you got gun stores in the white community. They're not shooting each other. They're going out forming militias and hunting and shit. Right. It's our conditions because we glorified from the late 80s gangster rap and then from the crack epidemic and even like you were saying, black exploitation movies, even though a lot of those were just sticking it to the man and of course pimping black women. But where do we get all this killing brothers from? And this ain't from fucking slavery either. When they freed the slaves, niggas just went killing one another.
I take that.
I don't think that's just from slavery.
That is from slavery.
I think we're going too far back.
When you get a bunch of slaves on the plantation and they get too cool and then they start banding together and realize, okay, hey, you know, it's almost like if you grab a bunch of twigs. If you take one twig, you can break it, right?
You put it together, it's hard to break.
You put it together, you can't break it. So if you turn, you know what I'm saying, if you turn Tyrone against Kunta Kinte, you know what I'm saying, I can keep my workforce still steady.
So you're talking about the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Well,
the whole
being able to turn me against you, be like, oh, you know, I seen Theo, and Theo was out there, you know what I'm saying, he was sitting there trying to tell it on you.
But when I say this, how is somebody ring the doorbell to Kiva?
The animosity and jealousy that comes from that time, plantation
That's what
slave
the fuck.
owners, you understand that where it started
Got kids,
was when the master was fucking taking some, choosing certain ones and bringing them into the house. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it all stems from the jealousy of why am I not good enough to be in the house?
But
I'm not light enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't pick enough cotton.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
You
It came
is
from
smart.
starting.
You is beautiful.
Or
That friction came from that right there.
I even got a simpler piece to it.
Now everybody jealous. Everybody want to have the best cotton, best
I don't know
shirt.
why the fuck this
The cotton,
is.
it changed. It changed the clothes. Cotton
Why
makes
can't
clothes.
it
You
be-
understand?
But why can't
Now
it be
clothes.
both?
Everybody want the best shoes.
I mean,
Everybody want. You feel what I'm saying?
There's a combination.
So
There's something-
you got some shoes I want, regardless of you white or black. I want them. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, but
That's what
think
causes
about it. It's
the-
even simpler than that. Imagine you getting whooped every day. You know what I'm saying? Your wife is getting fucked by master. You can't do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Your kids is you see them going down the same path of misery as you. You think that is gonna cause some motherfucking hate or some, you know what I'm saying, some resentment in your heart to where you're gonna take it out on whoever's next to you. And a lot of times a lot of us in this room can relate to this. The people that love you the most will hurt you the most. And it could be your mom.
Because you have too much.
But we're
You
not
have
going
too
through
many
none of that
expectations.
shit in 2017.
So
I ain't
hold
never
on.
seen my mama back get whipped. I ain't never seen none of my sisters get raped
But
by
you
white
seen-
men.
you seen
I've
it.
heard about it. You see what I'm saying? But to me, we're using all this shit as fucking excuses. Like, we live in
Yeah, if you really
2017.
had a problem with it then,
This
why
is
did
what
you
I'm
do
saying.
something
It's
then?
this whole thing of ignorance is bliss. As long as you
Yes.
have something to blame it on, then you don't have a reason to do something different.
Right.
Because I can say that, well, this is what happened back then. Okay, that was over 30-something years ago.
No,
You
we're
didn't
talking about
get, you wasn't
170.
in there, but I'm just saying, it wasn't you. I get it. You have respect for your grandparents went through the struggle. That's fine. That was your grandparents' life. You're in a completely different world. How do you expect for anything to change if you want to hold on to this one thing, using it as a crutch? You're letting your past enable you. That's all it is.
Enable your future.
No, but if you don't learn from the past, how can you even think?
We're not learning from the past. We let it be self-evident.
That's the whole thing.
That's right.
Right, you're not learning.
When you learn some shit, you move on. While you're hot, okay, I go with the rest of my life.
The problem is that, yes, I agree with you that we're using some of this as a crutch. Well, my ancestors were slaves. This, that, and other. This stuff does matter. It does matter where we are today.
Because it's
People use that shit because they lazy as hell. I shouldn't have to do this.
We need to understand our history.
Right.
Understand our history and what actually happened to us and why we are in the situation.
Right.
The cause and effect.
That's right.
That's the main thing we need to understand to begin to move forward. But educationally, you know what I'm saying, they've done a good job. And another thing, churches divide us too. I don't care what nobody says. If you look at any other community,
people
we
that
got
go
more
to church,
churches.
people that don't go to church.
We got more churches in the black community than any other race.
And where did you learn this? Where did you learn this Christianity from?
We learned it from the people who enslaved us.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I have Christian.
A way to get your slaves to obey you.
But
Imagine thinking of yourself as a byproduct of what happened way back in the day. That's basically what Puerto Rico is. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh yeah, but we can't use it as
We all are though.
No, but what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. Puerto Ricans, right, are just a mixture. They're a mixture of three different people. Okay, you have the Taino Indians, you have the Spaniards that came over here on the boat, and the slaves that came here on the boat. Right. So all of that came and boom, 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 right? And now you have Puerto Ricans. You understand what I'm saying?
The rich port people.
You know, and right now I'm pissed off because I'm sorry to go off to the other side, but that nigga Trump, he said some shit that was real fucked up. But Puerto Ricans is like Mexicans, with a New York accent.
They like black.
Exactly.
Or they like black.
Right.
Or they like
Basically,
for example,
all y'all niggas.
And I have family that's out there right now.
Right.
I'm feeling that right now. You feel what I'm saying? Right now they done cut off. That it's like they feel cut off from America. Period. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're not going to have lights for 6 months.
But you know why that is, though?
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
You know why
it doesn't
that
make
is?
any sense.
But you know why
If
that
it
is,
was
though?
white people over there,
Oh no.
I would go further.
lights
than
will be
that.
there for maybe 2 weeks. Maybe they're right. Maybe 2 weeks they'll have lights.
You're right with the white people thing, but I'm gonna tell you why it ain't no help.
You're right, because we didn't have no lights.
Puerto
and I didn't
Rico is under
understand
our
why.
jurisdiction,
For days.
but you know what Puerto Rico doesn't do? Pay taxes. so they don't give a fuck. That's why people ain't going over there. And if we go and we do some shit, it's for show. It's not to help people. Like somebody was talking to me at work.
Exactly. Look what America's doing.
To liberate people by dropping bombs.
Hey, take my picture.
No, that's not the way the world works.
I'm giving out water.
No, yeah, like even look what
America's doing.
Going around of like,
you got my good side.
Why do y'all have to record that you're giving your classmate who doesn't have some shoes?
Exactly.
Just give it to them.
But that's what the black
church
church
is recognized for that. But what else are you doing?
I mean,
everybody does shit for sure.
No, it's not for sure.
Not
If they ain't doing shit, if they ain't getting shit,
entities.
if they're not getting anything for what they're going to give, they're not going to do
politicians, shit like that.
Period. But what I'm saying is, go over there, build some shit, make that shit stronger. Get that, make it so that they can work and do what they have to do. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, Puerto Ricans are resilient. Yo, we out there killing hogs and making bonfires, and we got light, motherfucker. We got torches. We know how to fucking make it work. You feel what I'm saying? We gonna survive. Yeah. But a little help goes a long way.
You never know what anybody can do out of necessity.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm telling you straight up, man.
So I can agree with that.
You know, we're gonna do what we gotta do.
But this country only does what's conducive for this country.
Right.
Like we over there, we're gonna go to Iraq and liberate these motherfuckers. No, we're not. We're going over there to get some oil. We're going to Afghanistan.
Coming in.
We're going to Afghanistan because they're not letting their people vote. Muslim oppression. No, we're not. We're going to goddamn patrol these poppy seed fields because we got all this opium going around here that's making us big money. That's what it's really about. Black people need to stop playing fucking games with ourselves. This is what I'm saying with the slavery shit and everything. I do not look on shit that soothes me. Like I watch David Carey because it used to be hard for me to watch the motherfucker, but now I understand. I watch a young man named Ben Shapiro. He got fired from Breitbart because he has his own opinion. You know what I'm saying? And he would be known as alt-right, but he's really not. I watch alt-right motherfuckers. There's a dude named Richard Spence or some shit. I watch him too. And then you got to understand what's really going on. Like, I like to bring shit right back to the nucleus of the problem, almost to the atom of it. Why the fuck would these white people want to take food off their table to give it to you? Why would I want to have my children with less just to give some other motherfuckers down the street more? That's how black people need to look at this plight. These folks ain't gonna give us shit due to the fact that they want their people on top. And I don't fucking blame them.